apex predator of the deep.
You are clear for entry.
Seconds, we will be entering Cool Valley, where plant-eating dinosaurs roam freely. Keep an eye out for the Parasaurolophus, who likes to splash around in the water. You may even see our new baby Stegosaurus, one of the latest additions to our Jurassic World family. Some of Jurassic World's most powerful creatures.
ACU to Predator Code. Code Red. Iron systems going down. We have to continue the look. We show we have one more to call just past the return point. The blue is out of containment. Asset containment unit to Predator Code. Repeat, ACU to Predator Code. Code Red. Iron systems going down across the board.
Activating helmet squad. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Claire Deer. Please remain calm. We have assets out of containment and help is on the way. In the meantime, please,
A security team is deployed. They will get you to safety.
Keep your hands inside the boat. The slightest movement will set these animals off.
Hello, world of YouTube.
Hello!
I'm Mike,
I'm Bree.
and today we went on Jurassic World.
We did go on Jurassic World. Now, I know Jurassic World has been in technical rehearsals for the last week or so, but we wanted to go after it had officially opened just to see how everything worked, how crowded it would be, how the operation was flowing. And
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised. Were you?
For sure. So we were told it was a 90-minute wait. We got there, what, like 30 minutes after it opened?
Correct.
It was a 90-minute wait, and we actually only waited 30 minutes in line. That line was going at like Mach speed. It was going. They were getting people on those boats as fast as they could.
Yes, and I have footage of how the line was. We were all the way into the back section. So it was basically completely full. It was starting to come out. It wasn't quite to the opening Jurassic World gates yet, but it was starting to come out that way. We went through all the way in the back, and like Mike said, half an hour. It said it was 90 minutes, guys. It was not. And it is a very cool waiting queue to be in. There's fans set up, so it was hot. It was 86 degrees. It was hot, but they have fans set up.
It was in the shade as well.
Yes,
and not only
shaded.
that, but the in-video cues that they had was hilarious.
Oh, so
very
fun.
entertaining. So even if we were to wait 90 minutes, it was fun. They kind of did like the like a newscasting from the theme park, from Jurassic World, as if the park was still open, like before the events of the first movie. And they did a really good job. It was pretty realistic. You actually felt like you were watching like an infomercial for Jurassic World and like what to do at the park. It was cool.
And I love the fact that every single actor inside the movie was on board to do these newscasts, so it made it even more real. To see them up there, because you're like, hey,
so I from what I've seen, very, very efficient. Very efficient.
Yes.
Let's talk about the ride itself, though.
Yes, let's talk about that.
I'm a firm believer that Jurassic Park needed an upgrade. I love the OG Jurassic Park, don't get me wrong, but when you go out and those gates open and like the dinosaurs' necks are stuck like this, like,
you didn't like that one?
it had charm, but it was like, okay, we need to get you some oil or WD-40 because you looking a little hurt up there, or a chiropractor for sure.
I loved it. I loved it.
So it was time for this upgrade.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you first go into Jurassic World, obviously you have the tall hill that you climb up that's super steep, and then you get into there. Now let's talk about a pet peeve of ours, and that's screens in rides. This screen that they used was amazing.
Yes.
I 100% approve of it. Do you 100% approve of what they did?
And I think, yes, I absolutely do. And the reason being is that, like, it's not like they just put up screens along the boat and were like, there you go, there's your... It wasn't like Kong 360. They actually built, like, the paddock for... What's the dinosaur?
The Mosasaur.
The Mosasaur. I'm going to just call it M because I'm going to butcher that.
What up, M?
And the screen was used along with the practicality of the sets, and it blended well, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay if you fuse the two together, but if it's just plain screen, for me.
Right.
So I was totally thrilled when those gates opened and you saw, I was like, wow. So then we found out, on your left-hand side, the M eats a great white, and then kind of jumps over to the other side of the paddock, and you get soaked. They had, like, water actually come out. That is when I realized, okay, phone needs to be protected, because I was filming trying to get a POV, and I was like, oh! That's why we were going to have different perspectives. We're going to have to cut it.
We do. We have at least 4 different perspectives of the ride, because Mike is more, like, conscious about his phone, and me, I don't care.
Yeah. I
don't care. It's going to get wet. I don't care.
Okay,
I'm like, it'll
wait a minute.
It'll be fine.
I held it out, but if there's like a waterfall of water coming at you, I'm going to be like, okay.
No.
Sorry, fracture compass people.
I was like, nope, not moving.
Hold on here. Context for the viewers.
I will, because you see on my video, on the second one, a rain of water that comes down.
She was always in the place where she could be dry. She was on the right-hand side of the boat, and I was on the left. The wall of water comes on the left, soaked, okay? Then we went on the second time. I was in the front of the boat. Bree was in the third row where she was still dry. And when you go up the very, like this, almost the last lift into the building, and you drop down, a wave came at me, so I hid my phone. Bree cannot say, oh, I would have manhandled it too. Oh! I would have just had my phone out too if I was dry on the right side and the third row. She came out unscathed. Me and Jackie came out. Okay. No, you came out unscathed compared to us. Okay.
Compared to you guys. Yes, I know
we were dripping.
I know.
And so don't let her be like, oh, I toughed it out for you guys. She did, technically, but she also came out dry.
I did. Hey, this pant leg right here was soaked.
Oh, okay. Literally, if we could put it in right now. Yep, that's the wave. That's the wave. Slow motion. Yep. Notice how you could see me go, ooh. Yep. And we're back. Bree did not deal with that.
No, I did not.
The Mosasaur.
So yeah, we went past that.
Yeah, so we did the Mosasaur.
We did the Mosasaur, Paul.
Okay.
That was wonderful.
So we went to the Mosasaur, and he cracks the screen, and you're just like.
Yeah.
So we head into Stegosaurus Cove, which is awesome because that is paying homage to the old ride.
Yeah, I like that they left that in there.
Yeah, and then we move into the Predator Paddock, and if you guys notice, when you go into the Predator Paddock and you're starting to go, you can tell that everything is good to go because you see like the picture of the T-Rex, picture of the Raptors, picture of a Dilophosaurus.
With all green lights.
All green lights, and then the Parasaurolophus.
We'll just go ahead and say the dinosaur.
The Parasaurolophus. Okay, Parasaurolophus. I don't know. Anyways, he knocks you off track, and then you see those lights go red, like red, 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 like they're all escaping. And that was a cool detail that I didn't notice until I watched the replay. And I was like, oh my god, look, they're turning red, like one by one as they're escaping. So that I thought that was really cool.
Me
little
too.
Detail. So you go in there, and I think the only thing that was a little disappointing was that there wasn't more going on.
Well, there was no
paddock.
predators in the Predator Paddock.
Well, I mean, like, obviously people are going to be like, well, there's no predators in the Predator Paddock because they all escaped. Like, that's the whole point of that, and they went deep into the tunnels. But I thought, like, maybe there could be, like, one or two.
Yeah. Well, maybe. You know what's interesting is that when you actually go into the building... And then you go, they have 2 raptors, 2 Dilophosaurus, an Indominus Rex, and a T-Rex inside. And that is still the same amount of dinosaurs that they had in the original ride. There was 2 Dilophosauruses outside, 2 Velociraptors, and then a T-Rex. So it was all just, all the predators that we were hoping to see outside were all inside.
Right.
So I was totally okay with it. Once we actually got in, I was like, oh, this is awesome.
They've escaped.
Yeah.
They've gone into the tunnel. Owen says, don't make any sudden moves or it'll set the animals off. That's a pretty good setup as you're going through with those screens. Again, good use of screen. Doesn't matter if it's a television screen or a big screen. It was a good use of the screens.
Right.
I just thought that there would be maybe something going on in the Predator Paddock, but I understand where the storyline is going, that they have escaped and they have gone into the tunnel.
It just felt like such a weird, such a long amount of time to not see a dinosaur on this ride.
Maybe that was it. Maybe it's just because it's such a big area, you spend a lot of time, and maybe that's where I was going with it. So
yeah. And so now that goes off to so as soon as you're up on the top lift and you go down, that's when you get soaked if you're in the front seat with the wave.
I got a wave too.
And then I totally appreciate you did not.
On my leg.
Oh, you did.
Get a wave.
I did on my leg.
Bree's like, I don't understand why you guys didn't tough it out and hold your phone. I did. I toughed it out. Meanwhile, we're dripping wet.
Mike and I, that the rest of the boat was not wet.
Well, good to you, saviors.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Bree's over here on her mighty little dry trip over here.
I don't know what's wrong with you guys.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. I don't care. I'd do it.
I'd do it.
Meanwhile, I'm growing mold on my butt.
Yeah.
I was soaking wet all day.
Which it felt great. It did feel great.
It's 86 degrees. I did not care. I wish I'd gotten a wave.
So then when you actually go in there, they completely change the inside. It's no longer like the security system and like the maintenance bay. It is now you're inside the T-Rex paddock at night, and they had a Dilophosaurus on your left as soon as you went in there, and that was really cool. A bunch of trees, and then you can see the Indominus Rex coming down where the T-Rex head used to be. That's now the Indominus Rex. Then you make that turn and you are still inside the forest area. You see another Dilophosaurus. And one of my favorite animatronics that is new, they had the Walking Blue.
Yes.
And she was kind of responding to the Indominus Rex, who was kind of on your left-hand side, who was, communicating to all the other dinosaurs, like, this is what we're doing. And then Mama T-Rex comes out and she just F shit up.
She just said, stop it. All of you. Stop.
And before we see the nitty-gritty of that fight, we just drop on down.
Yes.
And that's the ride.
And it was awesome, and they did an amazing job.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
It needed an upgrade, and I'm happy that the ride got an upgrade. And there was only one qualm that I had, which was the Predator paddock not having no predators in it. But that was instantly squashed once I saw all the predators inside the building.
Right.
So.
I think you're right with saying it was a long time to be in that area
without a dinosaur.
Without something going on.
And people are saying in the comments like, oh, well, there was 2 dead pterodactyls. No.
Yes, there was, but it depends on what side of the boat you're on, if you even see that or not. Because if you're on the left side, you're definitely going to see those 2 tore up pterodactyls. If you're on the right side of the boat where I was, I knew those pterodactyls were there, so I was kind of craning. But if you're on the right side and you look over, all you see is blood everywhere and scratches, and you have no idea what made that blood.
Even if they didn't even need a dinosaur, just maybe something that happens, like maybe like the walls coming in, or maybe like you see like 2 claws come onto the bars and like slowly stretch them out or something. That would have like been okay. But again, they more than made up for it for the inside in the building.
And I think a lot of people were like that too, like, well, nothing really happened, because that was obviously the original area where the car crashed down.
Yeah.
And there was little dinosaurs like tearing the popcorn back and forth, and then you had the crashing car. So you had stuff going on in that area, and then it drew back to nothing. And you're kind of like, ooh,
what's going on?
Something should happen. I think someone had said, like, maybe you should put the gyrosphere in there, like something.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's a good thing, or I don't know.
But whatever. It is
minor qualm.
Yeah, it's such a minor thing that the end was amazing.
So 1 out of 5, 1 being bad, 5 being good.
1 out of 5 T-Rexes.
I would give it 4.5 T-Rexes, 4 T-Rexes and a baby.
I would definitely give it 4 T-Rexes and a baby as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm super happy that they just didn't make everything screen. It's the only screen part was the opening, and even that was well done. I really enjoyed that they had actual animatronics and they didn't kind of cop out in the inside building, because that's what my main fear was. Like, oh, when we go up that lift, are we just going to see screens because it's cheaper?
Something to note.
Definitely worth the wait.
When Blue came out at the very end and she had the electric piece.
It was in her mouth.
It was in her, well, yeah, she's playing her shit, it was in her mouth. That's when all the lights in the back and it says like T-Rex Kingdom, all that went out and it went dark.
That's cool. I don't know
if you noticed that.
Oh,
so she's I
was like, what? Yes.
Yeah.
I got perfect footage of that. Yes, she had the thing in it, because Blue is technically the smartest dinosaur in the world because she was genetically engineered to do that. And what is his name? Professor Wu? Wong?
Henry Wu.
Henry Wu. He, Blue was his pride and joy. And then obviously they made Indominus Rex, and then in the other movies they really followed the Indoraptor.
They follow the story well.
They follow the story, but Blue was the only one that was actually completely smart and had compassion and has a thought process.
And turn the lights out on us.
And turn the lights out. She's like, shh, you don't want to see this.
She's like, shh, you're going to get soaked.
It's better if you don't see the impending death. You're just going to go, boop, dog. So to sum everything up, basically you have a 30-minute pre-show loop that happens as you're waiting in line. If you decide to wait in line, because obviously Universal doesn't have the fast pass system like Disney has, you have to actually pay a lot of money for that. You don't have a lot of people cutting in front, like not cutting, but you don't have a lot of people coming through that queue area. So like we said, 90 minutes was really only a half hour.
Super fast too.
Yeah.
Like the line was never at a standstill. It was always moving.
It was constantly moving. And then when we got done with the first ride, we decided to go back single rider to check that out.
5-minute wait.
5 minutes we were on. And Jax and I were on the same boat, and you were on the boat ahead of us. So it's not like we even had to wait for each other for a million years.
And people are going to probably wonder, like, where should you sit if you want to get wet? Where should you sit if you don't want to get wet? And honestly, the way the effects are now, the very beginning, there's like a little wave that just splashes onto the entire boat. So more than likely, you're going to at least get a drizzle or some sort of amount of wet, for sure. I will say that the back row, you get less sweat than the front row, mainly because of that drop right after the main lift hill and you're going into the building. It's just a wave of water that just spills onto you. But in terms of like, where you should sit, just if you don't want to get super wet, I'd recommend staying in the middle and not at the end of the boat. Stay in the middle if you can. But with the geysers, everyone on the boat got like misted, and that actually felt really good. Excuse me. Go sneeze. Ah, went away. But yeah, like, if you want to be like Bree over here and stay dry, go in the back and then go in the middle. If you want to be wet, go in the front like me and Jackie.
Front on the side. I was on the side, but I was on the third row. So yeah, I didn't get that initial. I just got like a little dump on my leg.
Well, just good thing that we had Bree here to film.
But right off the bat, that Mosasaur is going to get you.
Oh yeah.
So just be prepared.
Yeah, and there's 2 opportunities for him to get you.
That spray just comes out over the boat.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It makes me like excited to like know that Universal still has the fans like in their minds when they're building new attractions, and they know that like there's a lot of screen rides, so let's try to make it as practical as possible. And if we're going to use a screen, let's do it right. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys thought of it on the POV, if you guys have written it. And
yeah, don't be afraid to go, guys, because that line is super fast. Nothing is like, if it says 90 minutes, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Well, and with that being said,
always be ready.
Because you never know where your compass will take you.
Including Jurassic World.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do.